Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today we're getting into something that, well, it really stirs things up for most people. Patriotism.
It really does.
It's one of those words, isn't it? Sparks so many different feelings. It's as diverse as the people who feel it. For some, it's that immediate pride seeing the flag. For others, maybe it's quieter, like an everyday kind of dedication.
A subtle thing sometimes.
Exactly. But for a nation like India, so vibrant, so complex, especially now in 2025, standing right on the edge of, well, global prominence.
Yeah.
What does it really mean to love your country?
That's the big question we're tackling.
Yeah, so today we're going on a journey to try and figure that out.
It's definitely a rich topic. Our mission today is really to explore all those different nuanced shades of Indian patriotism.
Okay.
We've looked at some really compelling insights, some real-world examples that hopefully will give you a kind of shortcut to understanding this very multifaceted idea.
Sounds good. I think you'll definitely want to stick around for this one.
Get ready to maybe rethink a few things.
Okay, so let's jump right in. One of the most, I think, striking things about modern India is its huge diaspora.
Oh, absolutely. The largest in the world.
Over 18 million Indians living outside India. I mean, you find them literally everywhere. Silicon Valley, Dubai, contributing all over the globe.
It's incredible, the reach.
It really is. And it naturally makes you ask, okay, does living abroad, being away from the day-to-day life in India, does that dilute the feeling of belonging? Or maybe does it change it somehow?
That's where it gets really interesting. How does patriotism transform when you're not physically there?
Right.
We came across this fascinating story from the Netherlands, actually. Picture this. A taxi driver, born in Pakistan, but he's dressed very smartly, suit, skull cap.
Okay.
And he's humming an old Bollywood song, like a classic Dilip Kumar Vijayanthamula film tune.
Wow, okay. A real connection there.
Exactly. He'd been living in the Netherlands for 22 years, happy there. Free education, affordable housing, good health care for his kids, all state supported.
Sounds like a good life.
Yeah, he was content. He wasn't planning on going back. But that love for his homeland, or maybe the culture he grew up with, it was just so clear in that music. So it makes you ask, doesn't it? Does patriotism need you to be physically present? Or can it just live on, like a cultural echo from miles away?
That's such a powerful image. Just a simple hum carrying so much weight. And it gets you thinking, how does that quiet sort of appreciation translate into something, well, more concrete?
That's the next layer.
We've seen the data, right?
Yeah.
Remittances from the Indian diaspora, the money sent back home hit, what was it, $100 billion in 2023, according to the World Bank?
A staggering amount.
It's huge. But then you have to ask, is that purely patriotism driving that? Or is it mixed with other things like, looking after family, maybe investment opportunities? Can we even separate those things?
It's probably a mix, isn't it? But the sheer scale of it tells us something important.
Yeah.
These aren't just abstract numbers. This money directly helps fuel India's economy. It supports countless families. So the insight here, I think, is that this kind of patriotism is maybe redefining loyalty. It's not just about feeling something or being present. It's about sustained active involvement, intent.
Right. Action over just feeling.
Exactly. It transcends borders. It shows that love to your country can actually be shown really powerfully through doing things, proving that belonging isn't just tied to a place on a map.
Okay, so this idea of tangible contribution, especially the economic side, it leads us right into India's own huge ambitions.
The big economic goals.
We hear it all the time. The drive to become the world's third largest economy. You turn on the news and anchors in 2025 are passionately talking about India's global rise. It sounds like this unstoppable force.
It's a powerful narrative.
But, underneath that rhetoric, there feels like a bit of a paradox. A tension between that big picture goal and, well, what life is actually like for many people.
And this really forces us to ask, what does national success actually look like?
Yeah.
Yes, the economy's growing, no doubt. But the numbers, they paint a more complicated picture.
Yes.
Well, India's nominal GDP per capita, it's around $2,878. That puts it at rank 136 out of 189 countries, IMF data.
Okay, so quite far down the list in per person terms.
Right. And it highlights that even with overall growth, poverty is still a very stark, very persistent reality for millions. So the really powerful insight, I think, is that A nation's greatness isn't just about its GDP size or its balance sheets. Maybe it's more about the quiet security, the well-being of its most vulnerable citizens.
It challenges how we even define success for a country, doesn't it?
Completely.
So with that contrast in mind, especially if we compare it, how should we think about patriotism in a country that's growing so fast but unevenly?
Let's go back to the Netherlands comparison for a second.
Okay.
17th largest economy, globally. Not small, but not top tier like India aims to be. Yet they're 5th in the World Happiness Report, consistently.
Right, that says a lot.
Their citizens enjoy a quality of life, largely free from those day-to-day worries about basic survival that many aspire to. Now, contrast that with India. You see billionaires making incredible fortunes, sometimes really quickly.
While millions are still struggling.
Exactly. Still on the margins, just trying to get by.
So what does that imply for patriotism?
Well, looking at the bigger picture, this difference strongly suggests that maybe genuine patriotism isn't just about celebrating economic numbers. It's about how secure, how stable, how anxiety-free the average person feels.
Okay.
The critical implication, then, is that love for country needs to translate into actively fighting for the welfare of all Indians, the farmers, the laborers, the students, the people who are really the backbone of the nation.
So a patriotism of collective responsibility.
Precisely. A commitment to lift everyone up, not just celebrating the peaks.
Okay, let's shift slightly. Speaking of national pride, sometimes it hits you in a very personal way, like with your passport.
Ah, yes. The passport.
In 2025, India's passport ranks 77th on the Henley Index. That's the measure of travel freedom, right?
That's the one.
It gives visa-free access to only 58 countries. Now, compared to places like Singapore or Japan, where citizens travel almost seamlessly, well, it's quite different. For many Indians, it's a source of real frustration.
And what's intriguing here is that a passport is more than just a travel doc, isn't it? It's a symbol.
Of what exactly?
Global respect, mobility.
Yeah.
For many Indians, those long queues at foreign airports or maybe getting a visa rejected, it can be quite humbling. A reminder of where India currently stands in that global pecking order.
Yeah, I can see that.
And yet, and this is the interesting part, many of those same people, despite the hassles, they return home. And they come back with this renewed, often profound appreciation for India's, let's say, unique chaos. Its undeniable charm.
Huh. That's a twist.
So it makes you ask, isn't that also patriotism? Being able to see the flaws, acknowledge the imperfections quite clearly, but still call it home with conviction.
A more mature kind of patriotism, maybe.
Perhaps. Resilient enough to hold both things, the frustration and the love.
And that really touches on a broader point, doesn't it? Citizenship, fundamentally, it's an accident of birth.
You don't choose it.
You don't choose your country or your religion initially or your culture, but these things shape how the world sees you and often how you see yourself.
Deeply ingrained identities.
Especially in India, with its incredible diversity, 22 official languages, countless dialects, it's a huge strength, but also a constant challenge, right?
Absolutely.
So patriotism often involves navigating all these identities gracefully, finding unity in that amazing mix.
It requires a certain skill.
But sometimes that push for national pride, it can become quite assertive, maybe even worrying.
And this brings us right to the issue of jingoism, which is critical when we talk about patriotism.
Oh, so?
Well, consider the numbers around the sedition law in India. Historically, Section 124A, now Section 152 of the new code, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita.
Okay.
Between 2014 and 2020, there were 399 cases filed under this law.
Wow, that sounds like a lot.
It does. But here's the crucial part. Fewer than 10 convictions actually resulted from all those cases.
Fewer than 10 out of almost 400.
Exactly. That huge gap between filings and convictions, it suggests something deeper is going on.
Like what?
It raises the concern that these laws, maybe instead of genuinely protecting national security, are sometimes used as a tool to, well, silence legitimate criticism.
Chilling dissent, essentially.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
It risks redefining patriotism as just unquestioning silence. And that idea really runs counter to India's own constitutional guarantees of free speech and critique.
Right. That's a really important point about the space for dissent within patriotism. Now, beyond these internal debates, patriotism often really comes to the forefront during international events, especially conflict or moments of assertion.
It galvanizes people.
Think back to September 1st, 2025, the SCO Summit Shanghai Cooperation Organization in Tianjin.
A major regional forum.
Prime Minister Modi was there. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif was also in attendance. And Modi strongly condemned the horrific Pahalgam terror attack. He specifically called out the open support of terrorism by some countries.
A very direct statement on a big stage.
Definitely a moment of asserting India's position.
And what's really striking about situations like that is how quickly the story, the narrative can shift and how vital information becomes.
Tell me more about that.
Well, during the Pahalgam crisis itself, in the immediate aftermath, there were reports that India initially found it difficult to control the narrative. Restricted access to opposing viewpoints, misinformation spreading
A
fast.
fog of crisis.
Exactly. And apparently it was actually an NRI, an Indian living abroad, who stepped in, shared critical, verified information that really helped shape and correct the public understanding of what was happening.
Wow. So a citizen abroad playing a key role in information warfare, essentially.
In a way, yes. The true marvel here, I think, is seeing how patriotism today isn't just about boots on the ground. It's also fought in the information space. Narrative control.
Right.
And citizens, no matter where they are, can play a really crucial role in defending the nation's story, its reputation.
That's fascinating. But okay, while conflict can create those strong bonds, what about peace? Does peace demand a different kind of patriotism?
I think it absolutely does. A perhaps quieter, more sustained kind.
Like what we see with the push for localization.
Exactly. Things like adjusting tariffs, the whole Make in India campaign, which really seems to have momentum in 2025.
Building things at home.
Yes. It's a focused effort towards self-reliance in really critical areas like food, national security, reducing dependence on global supply chains that we know can be fragile.
So what kind of patriotism is that?
I'd call it a patriotism of quiet resilience. It's not about shouting from the rooftops. It's about tangible strategic actions to make the nation more stable, more secure in a pretty unpredictable world. And it forces us to ask, what does everyday patriotism actually look like on the ground? It's not always grand gestures.
Give me an example.
Think about a school teacher in Delhi, just doing their job. On March 15th, 2025, a directive comes down from the Department of School Education and Literacy, part of the PM Poshan initiative, of this big school nutrition program.
Right.
Teachers were asked to identify students struggling with obesity, promote healthier habits, encourage schools to cut down cooking oil use by 10%, even appoint kids as student health ambassadors.
Little things, but maybe big impacts.
Profound cumulative acts of nation building, I'd say. Directly investing in the health and capability of future citizens. One kid, one meal, one habit at a time.
That's a great perspective. Or even think about the Union Home Minister, Amit Shah, June 26, 2025. He was speaking at the 50th anniversary of the Department of Official Language, and he described Hindi as the soul of the nation, really emphasizing its role in governance, cultural pride, while also making sure to acknowledge India's other 22 official languages, that whole rich linguistic tapestry.
Balancing act there.
Right. And that linguistic pride itself, you see it even with diaspora parents, right? Diligently teaching their kids Hindi or Tamil or whatever their language is thousands of miles away. That feels like a subtle but really powerful act of keeping that connection alive.
It's cultural preservation as patriotism, belonging, a testament to that enduring link to their roots.
Yeah.
And these examples, they really underline how patriotism also means nurturing the next generation, preparing them.
Building the future.
Exactly. The PM Poshan program, efforts promoting yoga in schools, nutrition quizzes, physical activity, it's all part of a collective investment in raising healthier, stronger citizens. The insight, maybe, is that future patriotism isn't just built on remembering history, but on actively empowering young people to contribute and thrive.
And this sense of looking forward, this diverse idea of belonging, it also comes through beautifully in art, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Art can capture these complex feelings so well.
Like the artist Joya Mukherjee Logue. Born in Ohio, her father was Indian Bengali.
Right, straddling two worlds.
Her exhibition in India in 2024 explored exactly that, her dual identity. She blended landscapes from the American Midwest with scenes from Haryana.
Fascinating combination.
Her art itself felt like a form of patriotism, rooted in memory, in heritage, a love for a land she connects with through her family history, her creativity. Bridging continents, bridging generations.
It shows how personal and varied these connections can be.
So when you pull back and look at everything we've talked about.
Yeah, looking at the larger canvas, what really emerges is that patriotism isn't some fixed, single thing. It's not static.
It's alive.
It's a vibrant, constantly changing tapestry. woven from just countless threads. You see it in the diaspora sending money home, in the teacher's daily work, the diplomat's strong words, the artist's vision, and definitely in the dreams of India's youth.
Mm-hmm.
The really critical implication here, I think, is that true patriotism is this ongoing collective effort. It's focused on building a nation where every single citizen, no matter their background, no matter where they live, feels secure, feels valued, and feels genuinely free.
Wow. We've really covered a lot of ground today, journeyed through so many different facets of Indian patriotism in 2025.
We really have.
From those global contributions right down to everyday actions. From the big economic dreams to that fundamental freedom to critique, to question. And I think what's crystal clear is that it's not one single ideal. It's complex, it's dynamic, it's always evolving.
And you've explored how you can find it in unexpected places, right? A taxi driver's hum, a teacher's quiet dedication,
Diplomats, careful wording.
an artist's brushstrokes.
Yeah.
It shows up in so many ways, big and small, often challenging what we thought patriotism was supposed to look like.
So the final thought for you, our listener. As India keeps moving forward on its remarkable, often complex journey in 2025, how will you define patriotism?
Is it just about unwavering loyalty? Or is it more about constantly pushing, striving to make your country a better, fairer place for everyone living there?
What does it really mean for you to help build a nation where everyone, absolutely everyone, from every corner, every background, truly feels like they belong? Something to think about.